All right, D1, which is order of operations. Let's run through our order of operations. So we're going to work our way up to these biggie guys, but not quite today. We're going to do a little smaller. So up until now, you would have seen order of operations last year. I did lots of them last year, but we didn't do any that had exponents. All right, so the order, now the whole full word BEDMAS actually spells out. Brackets, there has to have some kind of operation inside the bracket, whether it's adding or subtracting. Usually the reason why the bracket's there is it forces that operation to happen first before it would normally happen. Their exponents, remember the exponents tell you how many times the base gets multiplied. So 3 squared is not 6, it's 3 times 3, which is 9. Division, multiplication from left to right, addition, subtraction from left to right. See how addition and subtraction is your last one? That's why there's brackets sometimes, to force these guys to happen first. All right, so you know how I like my questions done, all right? We write them, the progression of the question. So if I'm looking at example number 1, brackets, right? I go underline my bracket. That is what I'm going to be doing. And you'll notice that the time signs are also out of it now. This 3 in front means what? What operation is happening?
Multiplication.
Right, it's being 3 being multiplied to whatever is in the bracket. So do I need something around the 7 minus 2 when I'm done with it? Yeah, I'm going to need to put it in brackets. Plus the 10 divided by 5. Do I have any exponents? No. Now, I have multiplication in his question, and I have division. Now, when you're doing multiplication, you always want to do them left and right, but you can do them both at the same time. In this question, you could do both of them at the same time because they have nothing to do with each other. Do we see that? That in the end, I'm going to be adding those two answers together. So I can do this guy, and I can do that one all in the same step. 3 times 5 gives me 15. I'm still going to be adding. 10 divided by 5 gives me 2. Save yourself an extra step. Because they have nothing to do with each other, I can just do them. And then the last step is the 17. We remember this? Good. What does this mean? Divide. So, do I have any brackets? No. But in order for me to divide this 4, what do I have to do first?
Add.
I'm going to have to add. So essentially, it's like having a bracket up on top, right? Because I cannot divide that unless I have a single number, which is 12 divided by 4. And then I still have the plus 7. All right? Matthew, what's my next line going to read?
12 plus 7.
Nope.
I mean, no, I thought 3 plus 7.
Right. 3 plus 7 is. And then I end up with 10 at the end. So sometimes with the dividing one, I can't divide unless there's a single number on top and a single number on the bottom. So you sometimes have to clean up the top, do what you need to do to the top, and then you can divide it out after. So far, so good? All right. Ooh, let's throw it all together. This one has all the steps. So I have 5 times a 9 minus 7 in brackets. I have an exponent of 3 outside the brackets, and then I have a plus 4. So again, my brackets are first. I'm going to do just that, right? So Brooke, what am I going to write on my next line? Tell me exactly what to write.
5 and then 2 in brackets.
2 in brackets, good.
With the 3 outside of it and a plus 4.
Perfect. Everybody sees that? Good. Brianna, what's next?
And then you like have to thing with the bracket and
The power? Yeah. 2 to the power 3. So what's your next line going to read? Tell me exactly what to write.
5 and then
2 times 2 is?
4
Times 2 is?
8.
Good. And do we want a bracket or no?
Yes.
Yes. Good. Because it's being multiplied to the 4. Good. I just did that. Rebecca, what's the next thing I'm going to do? Tell me on the next line. What am I going to do?
40 plus 4.
Good. So I'm going to multiply that, 40 plus 4, and I'll do the easy step and try to get the answer correct. There we go.
Do we have to underline?
No, you don't have to. Some people like. We'll do one without underlining this time.
Okay.
You have so you'll need a calculator for this guy. There's going to be some that have decimals, so grab your calculator out. So brackets, exponents, division, multiplication, addition, subtraction. Now, this is one of those questions. The reason I chose this just because it's also got decimals. But this one also shows brackets and exponents where they have nothing to do with each other. Do you notice that this one, I had to do the brackets first, then write it down, then do the exponent, and then write it down, right? Whereas this one, if I look at this question, does me squaring the 8.6 squared, does that have anything to do with this bracket that's over here? No. So when I do these, sometimes the brackets and the exponents, if they're independent of each other, like they have nothing to do with each other, why not do them both at the same time? Whereas this one, I couldn't have done that, right? I had to subtract 9 minus 7 first, get an answer of 2, then cube it. Whereas this 8.6, and I need 2 of them, right? Times 8.6. Or you could go 8.6 and then use your little square button. That'll give you the same 2. So that of 73.96 has nothing to do with this bracket right here of 7.2 minus 1.3. So I'm going to do them both. Okay? If you did it in 2 steps, is that wrong? No. Your answer is going to take a little longer to get there. Okay. Come on, Ethan. You can do it. Take the 2, go into the first number. Jackson, you're reading the directions? Good. All right. Then I got to do this multiplication over here. 2 times 5.9 gets me 11.8. So I have a 73.96 and I'm subtracting 11.8. So far so good? And then 73.96 subtract 11.8 gives me a 62.16. So far so good? All right, then there is, so in your assignment, you will notice that I did this, right? And then I gave you a bunch of boxes. So what I'd like you to do is just kind of rip your pages apart here. Pull that off so that you can put them in the correct boxes. And I also want to do number 1 and number 44. Okay? So we're going to do number 1, and we're going to do in the box here. And then we're also going to do number 44, the one I have circled. So the 2 that I have circled. So for numbers 1 through 8, it says on your sheet, all right, it says list the operations in order you would perform them in. All right, so the reason I did this one, and I think after this I actually cut and pasted the questions onto the page, is sometimes you get the questions on a separate piece of paper. Step number 1 to every solving a question is just to make sure you write down the question. So I'm expecting you to write down the question and then to answer it after that. So question number says, list the operations in the order you would perform them. So in this question, they're not asking you to actually solve the question. So for up to here, they're asking you to decide what has to happen first. I would multiply, right? I'm going to multiply, and then I'm going to Okay? So they're just asking you to, so I want you to write the question out, tell me what order you have to do stuff in. I would multiply, and then I would add. All right? Let's go to 44 then. Oh, you just have to flip your page over. 44. And 44 looks like this. 15 divided by 3 plus 2 plus 1 equals a 4. Okay, and there's my 44. And this one, it says use brackets to make each statement true. And then I have a little reminder at the bottom. Brackets force an operation to happen first instead of later. Hint, look at your adding and subtracting, right? The reason why we have brackets is to force the adding and subtracting to happen first before we do it in the very last step. So here, right here, you will notice that if I do it according to order of operations, I'd have 15 divided by 3, giving me a 5, right? A 5 plus a 2 plus a 1 gives me an 8. I need it to equal a 4. Okay? So that means I need to put some brackets in there that's going to make something happen first before that, right? So my choices are probably on this adding, or my other choice would be that adding over on the end, right? Those are my kind of my two choices. But I noticed that if I did this one, I'd have a 15 divided by 3, which is a 5, plus a 3. 5 and 3 does not give me 4. So I'm thinking, right, where should my brackets be? Right there. That means that I would have to do that first. 15 divided by 5 plus the 1. That gives me a 3 there plus the 1, give me the 4. So 4 equals 4. Check mark. So there's where my bracket is. So they're going to want you to put the bracket in and then just prove that your answer works. Okay? Let's go page by page again. So 1 to 12, 24, 36, and 48. All right, there you go.